Hello, YouTube. As always, thank you for being here and taking a part of my space as I, in return, get to take a part in your space by delivering my messages and having these open conversations with you all that you can bring back your feedback and commentary on after watching in the comment section. So today we have a topic, and as you can see, the title of this video may seem a little bit dark because guess what? It is a dark matter. And what that dark matter is what if we are living in the end of times? What if we actually are? What would that mean to you? What would that look like for you? And what would you do in your life that could be different than what you would do if it wasn't said possible end of times? Would it matter to you? Is it something that you would want to think about, or is it something that you would want to kind of sweep under the rug and not have to really think about? Would you want to know, or would you just want to be unaware of the situations and just kind of deal with it as it comes? I know personally, I have been raised in a family that's pretty big on just kind of like not caring, just kind of going with the flow and living your life at all cost, because that is a way to be present with ourselves and be aware of ourselves. But at the same time, is that awareness of just simply existing within our own selves without the awareness of what is going on in the world and things that are occurring that could possibly change the destiny and fate of our existence here as human beings? Does that mean that by not attuning our energy of the awareness of the matters of the world, that we are creating an illusion in a state of confusion, separating ourselves from the reality in which the world is in? Or do you think that that is the personal way to transcend? I guess it's all a matter of thought. And because of that, I am here to initiate the thought so you can process what matters to you. And what would you do if we were in the ends of times? And if it would even matter? Because like I said, it could not matter to you, or maybe it does. And I just kind of want to touch on this because I feel like it matters to me. Because I have always been that kind of person that I used to live for the doom and gloom until I found spirituality and myself. I won't even say spirituality, but until I tuned in with myself, realizing that I fear no thing, even the end. But at the same time, I want to be present with myself from inside, within, and outside. So let's touch on this topic and see where it goes.
This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test.
So, I don't know about you, but one of the things that I have taken pride in for several years now in myself is that I am very limited to the energy and the information that I receive and that I take in, because I know that I am a very emotional creature and I can get attached to the energy of things that are happening, such as like world events, destruction, war energies, things like this. So I literally used to push it away as far as I could, because I knew that because of that energy, I would get sucked into it, and then I would start going into the era of doom and gloom. So since I have been limiting myself to the medias and to the current events of life, I realized that it was more of me really living in a state of illusion rather than realizing what was going on and realizing that there are people who are suffering and there are things that are happening and there are events. And even though I still very much limit myself to the information that I'll take in, I do actually enjoy being aware of what is going on. And because of this, and if you also too have paid any attention to the recent, I won't say news, but the recent discoveries of things that are happening in our present current times of reality based on what the media shares to the resources in which you receive your information. And I will say I'm very limited on anything mainstream. I'm not a big fan because I don't trust anything or anyone. Even the things that I do give my attention to, I do take it in with a grain of salt, because I know that a lot of things are prefabricated to give us the belief of one thing, to be able to have emotional control, because what we give our energy to is what we consume. Therefore, it becomes the energy attunement of ourselves ourselves and we put that resonance of the energy out there to the world. But the thing is, can I ignore that there could possibly be 12,000 people dead in Turkey because of an earthquake? That's not something I can take lightly. That's not something I can omit. I turn on my YouTube and I see these headlines. I see things on my birthday, January the 27th, that I just had recently. I literally was watching an episode of Redacted, which I will say I enjoy them pretty thoroughly. Their podcasts and their videos that they do. But what were they saying? Literally playing a clip of President Biden saying that there's no way to express this world other than the fact that we're in a state of World War III. I can actually enter the clip right here. Take a look.
The idea that we're going to send in offensive equipment and have planes and tanks and trains going in with American pilots and American crews, just understand, and don't kid yourself, no matter what you all say, that's called World War III, okay?
So yes, should we be concerned? Are we facing World War III? Are we facing the end of times? I don't know. I don't think any of us know. But the thing is, if we are, it's completely and utterly out of our control. And the only control that we do actually have is the control over our energy in which we allow ourselves to attach to the world and the current events and the state of nature. One thing that I feel is super important in these times is just always sending as much love as we can to this world. Understanding that things are pretty crazy right now. Things aren't always rainbows and butterflies. And when we live in a world of illusion and separate ourselves so much to where we can't even see what is actually happening, we're not really doing any satisfaction or justification to anything other than our own selves of living in that state of illusion, which is completely fine, because if you want to do that, you should do that. And I have no qualms with anybody's way of existing. So please do not take it that way, because that is not my intention. My intention is simply to spread the seed of awareness and thought of the surroundings of what we could be facing and asking ourselves, what does that even mean? And even if we were in the end of times, will we fear it, or will we just accept that we came to this planet with a divine mission? And what if that divine mission was nothing more than simply to exist for the end of times, to bring in a new form of times? Because could everything actually end, or would it actually just transform into something else? Because where everything ends, another begins. So when we perceive things like this, and we think of things like such as the NWO, I won't say it in the terms because I don't want to like get flagged, but when we think of things like these orders of new worlds that people perceive, these elitist agendas of wanting and doing, whenever we think of these things, I always kind of like to look at it like, we do need a new order. We do need a new structure, and we do need a new world at this point, because there's too many people that are suffering, and there's an imbalance in wealth. There's an imbalance in the distribution of food, supplies, needs, necessities, goods for people and things, and ethical, moralistic rights that people don't even have in some places. But does that make me someone who believes in an elitist agenda? Absolutely not. What it does make me believe in is a hope for a change, a hope and a change in some way. And even if that change means the destruction of all humanity as itself in the form of life that we know it, maybe that change isn't for the worst. And maybe if we actually look at it in different aspects of self and awareness of life as self, and the generalization of all that is, maybe we would see that sometimes things have to end to begin, in whatever way that could be. And yes, this is a dark matter, because I am saying exactly what it sounds like I'm saying.
I am literally fucking disgusted right now. I live in Syria, and we've been in war for 7 years. We suffered a lot in this city, okay? We suffered a lot. We lost a lot of people we love, and we suffered from a war for 7 years. We have no electricity, we have no gas, we have nothing. We have nothing that a human being can possibly want, okay? Like the normal human things, the normal human needs we don't even have. And now the earthquake happened and not a single person tried to help us. Yes, I know it happened in Turkey, and I'm so sorry for Turkey. And I know that there are a lot of people that suffered in Turkey, but we suffered too, okay? We are humans. We are fucking humans. Stop that shit and stop like not helping us in any way. Like, what did we do? We are humans. It's not our fault that the war happened and everything happened. We need your help. People are dying and they don't have a place to go to. Their homes are crushed down. There are literally childs that all of their people, all of their families are dead now. Please, like, anything can help. Please just share this and to just let people know that Syria is suffering. Please share anything. Donate everything you can. Please just help them. Like, it's not fair. It's not our fault that we were born in a country that we can't even fucking get out of, okay? It's not our fault that our passports does not allow us to go anywhere in the fucking world. It's not our fault. At least just help the people that are dying. At least just help the people that are literally like doesn't have homes, doesn't have a family right now. And they don't know where to go because they don't have money. Just please help anyone. Please be aware of this. Please just don't make the media foolish you and say like, oh my God, we are helping Syria. No, no one is helping Syria. And I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to show you a picture that says like not a single plane got to Syria. Not a single fucking plane. So please just share this and just be aware of it and donate anything you can. Please.
So now you may ask, Tara, are you suggesting that you think that the end of times would be good for us? Are you suggesting that the end of the world is an ideal situation and scenario to be able to cure and purify humanity and the state of this earth and the existence of all that is? And my answer for you would be, I don't know. Because I don't know. All I know is that I am accepting of any terms of what has to happen because I am aware that the state of this current reality is flawed. And it's not flawed because of anything other than the mass consciousness that is being formed by the masses that feed us all of the things that we take in consuming, whether it be the food, whether it be the water, whether it be the media, whether it be the medications. Whenever we become a part of the problem becomes our problem because we have allowed these systems and these structures to become something to determine our worth and to determine our value and to determine who and what we are, instead of realizing that we don't have to fall in line with the tune of the past and repeat history and accept these wars and accept these imbalances in society. We are moving into a new age. What this age is the age of Aquarius. And it just so happens to be that Aquarian energy is about to be very Plutonic. And what does Pluto represent? It represents death. So I think what's about to happen is we are literally going in to the age of a rebirth of civilization. And what that looks like, I don't know. Because I'm not claiming to be anyone who can come on here and tell you what the future holds. But all I know is we are in store for something that has never been seen before. That's going to be unprecedented in ways that we have never even been able to fathom. And being prepared by just being aware that the situation could be dark. The situation could be a little chaotic. The situation could take you off your kilter and tip you upside down. It could mean that we no longer have people that we love in our lives anymore because of mass waves of famine or die-off or whatever it may be. But can you accept that? Can you accept releasing attachments to everything in this world and accept the fate that you could die tomorrow? I don't think so. But maybe you can. And I don't want to discredit you and say you can't do that, because that's really disrespectful and wrong of me. But at the same time, I've noticed that humanity likes to cover up anything that's dark. And that's not what I stand for, because guess what? We can't always cover up things just because they appear in ways that we don't want them to be seen. And that is a big problem with our society. We like to sugarcoat things to make it a little easier to swallow. But the thing is, we live in a world that's full of diabetics. And we live in a world of sickness and a world of people who are living off of things that are killing them simultaneously as they think they're being nourished. So when you live in a world full of lies and you're fed these lies, you're bred these lies, you become the breed of the species of the lie itself.
And you think about building the future, then your building materials are those millions of people who are working hard in the factories, in the farms, the soldiers you need them. You don't have any kind of future without them. We just don't need the vast majority of the population because the future is about developing more and more sophisticated technology, like, again, artificial intelligence, bioengineering. Most people don't contribute anything to that except perhaps for their data. And whatever people are still doing, which is useful, these technologies increasingly will make redundant and will make it possible to replace the people.
Stopping the rise in population would be one of the biggest levers in driving the rise in greenhouse gases. Is that?
Well, I mean, we all know we expect 9 billion, right, by 2050. So yes, obviously less people would exert less pressure on the natural resources, and that's
so is
just
9
math.
billion a foregone conclusion? That's like baked in, done. No way to change that.
Well, there again, there's pressure in the system to go toward that. We can definitely change those, right? We can definitely change those numbers, and we really should make every effort to change the numbers because we are already today exceeding the planetary carrying capacity.
Alan Gregg, an official founder for the Rockefeller Foundation, said the world has cancer and the cancer is man. Prince Philip, Queen Elizabeth's husband, said if he could be reincarnated, he would wish to return to Earth as a killer virus to lower human population levels. A nice guy, that Philip. Jacques Cousteau said we need to eliminate 350,000 people a day. Media mogul Ted Turner said we need a 95% decline in population. Okay, Ted, you first. These guys for the New World Order want to reduce the population of the world from its present 7 billion to 500 million. Charles Worster of the Environmental Defence Fund said people are the cause of all problems and we need to get rid of some of them. Bill Clinton signed the Biodiversity Treaty that said we need to reduce the Earth's population to 1 billion. Peter Singer, an influential Princeton professor who is teaching your children, wants to have abortions after the baby's born. You've got 28 days to decide if you want to keep it. Prince Philip, Queen Elizabeth's husband, said if he could be reincarnated, he would wish to return to Earth as a killer virus to lower human population levels. Maybe that's why the powers that be are promoting abortion parties. Maybe that's why the shots are causing mass deaths. But you'll never hear about that on the mainstream media because they are bought and paid for by Pfizer.
So it's time that we realize that we've been living in a state of illusion. What does Neptune, Pisces represent? If we're moving out of the energy of Pisces into the age of Aquarius, what does that actually mean when you look at it from that aspect? It means we're moving out of the state of delusion and into the state of community awareness and also upgrades and technology, uranium, things that Uranus represent. What are the things that Uranus represent? I can actually give you a few. Funny enough, I have this handy dandy book, and what it's called is the Rulership Book. It's by Rex E. Bills. I suggest anyone who is intrigued to also find out what age of the Aquarius could look like and what Pluto in Aquarius could actually show the generalization of. I suggest you get this book, even if you just want to find out some interesting astrology rulerships. And I just want to break out a few things out of this book. Organizations. That's one of the things that Uranus represents. Leaving organizations. Let's see. So many things. Periods of life. What does Scorpio, Pluto represent? Let's just take a really quick look really quick. Antichrist. Oh, interesting. Atoms. Oh, interesting. Oh, Uranus or death. Life after death. Death rays. Okay, dictators. Dilapidation. A lot of darkness, guys. So it's not that I'm here to preach death or preach darkness or do anything of that sort. But what I am bringing awareness to is if we live in this state of illusion until we die, guess what? Maybe you lived your best life. But at the same time, what if you can just be aware of it, set with it, accept it, and understand that each moment of your present reality is what matters the most, because we can't control the future. But what we can do is control the now. And what we can do to control these things is control what we allow inside of our energy fields, what we consume in every single way. This can be through our minds, through our actual consumption of eating, anything. You just have to really be one with what you want out of this world. And in becoming aware of what you want out of this world and accepting the fact that maybe what you want out of this world can't necessarily be received in this lifetime, but maybe it can. And at least giving it the shot of what you feel it's worth. What matters to you? And are you able to detach from this physical form just as much as you were able to attach to it? Because that's the thing. It seems that we live in a world of extremes. People are either super attached to the physical, so much to where they can't even see the spirit of life, or they're so tapped into the spirit of life that they can't actually acknowledge the life that they're living. Where is the middle ground? In my opinion, I feel like the age of Aquarius, and then Aquarius moving in, or Pluto moving into Aquarius, is the awareness of the middle ground, because it's getting to a point to where life is refusing to give us the sugar-coated version anymore. And I just want us to realize that we can take the dose without needing to have it sugared down or watered down or whatever it may be, to make it a little bit easier to go with the flow of. Instead, acknowledge what the present is holding and see it as a gift, because guess what? You decided to come here in this space-time momentum of now. And you decided and you chose to be a part of this life experience. Just like the ego, your persona, whatever you want to call it, how you can identify with yourself. This is your life. How will you live it? How will you accept it? And how will you give it? How will you deal with it as it comes? Will you become the dealer of the presence of your reality? Or will you take the hand that you've been dealt because you feel like you have no other say? All we can do is make the best out of what we have. And I know this isn't a light message. I know it's kind of dark, and I know it's not what a lot of people are going to want to hear. And if you don't like it, let me know in the comments, because guess what? Your feedback is still important to me, and it matters, and I want to hear it. But I do hope that this message has given you just a little bit of food for thought, just to be more receptive and open to what the outcomes could be, and know that no matter what, you are going to be just fine. If we could detach ourselves from these states of religion and beliefs of if we do something wrong, we're automatically going to hell, and all of these things, all of these brainwashes that we've been washed out with as a society collectively, when we can release that bullshit and actually realize that we have the power of belief within ourselves, and no matter what we believe, we don't have to go to hell. We don't have to live in this lie of this perception of reality, and we can become our own through our beliefs of ourselves. So take this video as you will, as you wish. Hate it, love it, throw it away, unfollow me, or follow me if you haven't. Do whatever you want. I don't really care. Ultimately, I don't care. All I want to do is be able to spread a message that I feel matters, and I want you to see that you matter. And it's not about the structure that's already been formed, because that structure is dead, guys. The structure of anything that we've believed in and anything with our system has always been a lie. Nothing about it has ever been set out with intentions for the good for humanity. And I want us to realize that, acknowledge it, and call it bluff. Even if it does mean, okay, maybe I'll check out a little bit bit of a, current events type thing on YouTube or on the news or whatever you so choose. Keep a grain of salt in mind with that. Take it with a grain of salt, because you have to realize that we are always living in an illusion. Everything that we are told is an illusion. So the only thing that we can do is make the illusion our own and make it the best that we can, and accept that sometimes things end and sometimes things begin. So whichever way you want to see it, all I ask is that you do it without fear, and you do it in the presence, a form of your best interest in your reality, giving zero fucks about what anybody outside of you thinks, because it doesn't matter. We're not put here on this earth to make other people happy. We're put here on this earth to live our best lives and do the best that we can, and do the best for those that we surround ourselves with, or that we allow in our lives, or whatever it may be. Being a good human, having morals, these are the concepts that are so often missed. And then we're forced things like religion and like ways of being that are set in stone that have to be done a specific way. What if you just live a good life because you're decent and kind to other people, and you treat yourself right? You treat your vessel good. You clean your thoughts out, and you make yourself believe things that are important to you matter. And you actually have faith in the goodness and the God that's within you. What if that's enough? And what if that was the only attachment to the fear? What if death was never meant to be feared? I've made a video about that before. Go back and watch it if you want. Maybe you don't want to watch it. It only has like 2 likes. And it's because everybody hates that. No one wants to hear these dark topics. Why do I keep making videos on these dark topics? Probably because I'm an Aquarius rising in sun with the 8th house Pluto, or with the 8th house Libra, and a Pluto, Scorpio, and Mars. Who knows? Or Scorpio, Pluto, and Mars. Who knows? Either way, all I know is I'm here for this new age, and I am here for any outcome that is meant to be, because I have trust and faith in the reality in which is being consciously weaved from a higher source and power beyond anything that I can interpret through this human vessel, knowing that I'm a part of its creation. All right, so before I go, because I had this weird hysterical energy of emotions, which I hate, but at the same time, it made me remember how toxic our world is, and the disconnect of actually feeling emotions, and even myself included, with the acknowledgement of the awareness that just having to sit with my own emotions and feeling the pain of the world and the suffering, and seeing that that illusion is actually a contorted contextual belief that we have been scripted and prescribed and subscribed to by a world that tells us that we must be a part of the illusion and embrace it in its glory, instead of facing within the truth of the actual story. So many people in this world are addicted to medications and antidepressants or a vice, and that can be anything. And the reason that we do these things is because we are naturally connected to the world, connected to our environment and each other. And we deep down inside internally feel the pain that this world is going through, suffering and enduring. Yet we don't know how to go through that emotion. We don't know how to feel that without thinking that something's wrong with us. So if anything comes out of this video, I don't ask that you embrace yourself fully for the outcome of maybe the demise of all civilization, but I ask that you set with the energy of feeling the emotions of the creation of this situation, of the world, acknowledging that it hurts sometimes, but it is okay to feel. So that's my ending message. I send you all so much love, and I thank you. So if you've enjoyed this video, or if this video has stimulated some thoughts and it's something that you would like to like, I would definitely love it if you did. Give it a like, follow me here if you're interested. You can follow me on these social media platforms if you so choose. I go by the handle Terrestrial Aura, and I am here in service to you. And I actually lost the audio on the rest of the video because I got a call while I was recording. So I just want to say, I thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. If it resonates with you, I would love to hear how you feel, what your thoughts are, and if this has helped in any way to broaden your horizons of just seeing what is before us and the state of this world, and just kind of like how it makes you feel. So again, thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this video. And until we meet again, have a absolutely wonderful day, taking each momentum as the present as it is in the now.